session with Mr. Matt, and this would be a bit serious. So let's just wait for him. We will be talking about on how to improve professionally. Okay, welcome back. Okay, this is our second session, how to continuously improve professionally. As a teacher, as an educator, it's just so normal to strive for more knowledge, educate ourselves like continuously. But I think especially for the younger generations, but for like maybe for 50s or some of the oldest, you know what I mean, they would have the problem of keeping up with the new innovations in education. How can you help them open up to new for their professional growth?
I understand what you're saying. I think one of the biggest myths out there, and one of the annoying things that as an administrator I hear is, we need more professional development. Send me on professional development, or get a workshop on this and this and this. And I think that it's sometimes really tricky to help people understand that the best form of professional development doesn't come necessarily from an external facilitator. Professional development is in everything we do all of the time. So while it is really important, especially for future work prospects, to have a list of courses that you've taken, that's really not where the majority of your professional development comes from. So what I would say first is, don't wait for the PD to come to you. You need to seek it out. And that's what's really important in improving professionally all the time.
I agree. Because I can see that with one of our staff. Even she had been teaching for many years already. She just keeps on asking for more and striving for new things. And that's so wonderful to see as an education and as an educator, because too many of the young generations now, they tend to stick on what they had been studying and what they think is right, and could not even open up their perspective to new things. But if the person, or if an educator is like a narrow-minded, how could you help them understand that they need to have more and new things?
Sure. I think, what's really important to me as an administrator is that if you've got a really good performance management process, then you've got the evidence there to help a teacher understand, there is room for growth, because it's based on evidence. You wouldn't go and tell someone in their workplace, hey, you need to grow and learn, because obviously their reaction would be quite negative. So you've got to go in with evidence to help them understand, hey, there is room to grow, there is room to improve, there is room to learn. So you're talking about the idea of being narrow-minded. What we want, obviously, is open-minded, and we don't want open-mindedness to the point where a teacher's doing everything and pulling from here and there all the time, which can also happen at the other end, because then the teacher's not really kind of seeing anything through. So for me, it's really important to have that process of performance management where you have conversations with the teachers and offer to have a kind of robust kind of professional development vision in mind, well, then you're not going to get anybody on board. So as long as you're sharing the goals and sharing the vision and keep revisiting, this is why we're doing it. This is going to help us with this.
Connection.
The evidence is telling us this. And so these are one, I mean, again, it really comes back to the individual. Does the individual want to improve professionally? And if you as an administrator and as a leadership team, really, including all of the middle level leaders as well, is providing lots of opportunities and the person is not taking on board anything outside of that. So I know that we're not really talking about that, but I'll leave kind of that side. If you get to that point where you've got someone just even a little bit, well, then you feed into that. Because improving professionally, it takes a long time for some people and it takes a really short time for others to get on board with it.
Mm-hmm. Why is it hard for admin to let teachers, I don't know, judging again, is it hard for admin to let their teachers understand that PDs, because let's admit it, teachers would say, oh, PDs again, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying this because I'm part of them. So how can you change that perspective? Because it seems that PDs to them are like waste of time, maybe. Not to all the staff, but I mean most of the staff would say PDs again.
So I mean that's a really good question, and if there's a school out there that it worked amazingly where everyone got on board with it, I want to go to that school. You're always going to have pushback to that. I think as administrators are always aware of that kind of surface level of people not wanting to be on board with things. And that's natural in a school. There's many, and you would have heard of this yourself as a teacher, you kind of you think of your higher able student and you run with that energy in the hope that some of those stragglers are going to take the momentum and run with it as well. So it's kind of a similar application to a staff, because a group of teachers is just like a class of students as well. Look, for me, it's all about sharing the vision of why we're doing this. Why is this important to us? I think that something that's really important to do is to celebrate those little, so that people feel that it's not totally a waste of time. And like from a logistics point of view, it's really important to schedule your professional development and schedule your workshops at a time that's best for everybody.
Yeah. So,
as you know, because we work together, a Wednesday is not the best time to do that.
Agree. And so, I am going to say this as a part of the school for many years. It is always, it's a strength of the school that we conduct PDs like whole year through. But you had maximized it during your year. Like each PDs were well thought of and very engaging to teachers, and you had brought a lot of new stuff for teachers to use in the classroom. and that
Mhm.
I really admire, and I was happy to be part of that PD.
Thank you.
And do
Is
you?
there a question, or are you just complimenting me?
I'm complimenting you,
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
and you always know that.
Yeah.
um, what what's my question? I forgot now.
I don't
What
know.
can you suggest to young teachers out there who still strive to make their professional foundation stronger?
That's a really good question. A really good question. I think, we've all been in that situation where we're new to teaching. We were eager to finish university or teachers college or whatever training you did and get in the classroom. And when you get in the classroom, you're so excited to try this and this and this and this. I think the advice I would give now, having had that experience and now in administration, is establish yourself and establish some routines and some practices that suit your particular style. Because as an administrator, we can see through the teaching practice of someone who doesn't have conviction in the way that they're teaching. So take your time and learn, start building your repertoire, but slowly. Master some strategies, master some practices first, and then start to build on those. Really simple things like routines and structure and some simple strategies to use, especially with the main areas of literacy and numeracy. Start to build those habits and build your expertise in those. And then from there, then move on. Don't fall into the trap of trying to do too much too quickly, because that's when our lovely group of students will start slipping away. And then by the end of the year, in many cases, you will have lost them and you'll have a lot of behavioral issues.
That's for new teachers. They should listen because it's really
Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
It's really hard.
Listen and seek feedback, ask for feedback about things. Really important.
Okay, do we still have time? Shall we have the third question, the third part?
Sure.
Together?
Sure.
I think it will cut off in a few minutes. So we'll
No
just
problem.
have this. We'll just cut it off and then we'll have another session.
Okay.
Thank you,
No
Mr.
problem.
Matt.
Thanks.